Episode 255. We're here. What happened at the USDGC? We had another major take place. I'm here with Nick. I'm here with Josh. Good morning, everybody. I say that because most of our listeners tune in the following morning, so good morning. To us, it's good evening, the day following the major. Wow, we're going to talk about what happened. But before we get to that, I'd like to shout out to TitanDiscGolf.com. Over 35,000 discs. We should play a game here, guys, in the future. Be like, we're going to take it down and we'll like put up like a quiz. We'll be like, how many discs does Titan Disc Golf have? And everyone will be like,
how many people pay attention to the ad? We'll give away free discs with it.
Every week, 35,000. So 35,000. And we'll be like, what's the free shipping threshold? They're like $75. Yeah. And then we'll be like, do they have unique stamps? Yes, they do. Like everyone knows, there's no getting around it. We've done our best to promote what they're doing, and we appreciate their support for our show. Definitely go check out TitanDiscGolf.com. Wow. So Ben does some Columbus Day thing. I'll just kind of put that out there so people are like, where's Ben? It's possible he joins, but at this point, it's not planned on. So how are you guys doing, Josh? And then Nick, you had a tree come down or something, but
yeah, well, dude, it's windy as heck right now. So just a small one, just had to kind of clean it up really quick. Nothing too major, but every single time I look out my window, all the trees are moving left and right, pretty gnarly right now. So it's hella windy. I would not want to play disc golf in it right now, and that's about it.
Would you rather play in a windstorm? Rain.
Dude, what's so funny, and to go completely like on that topic, so when we used to do Judge That Disc Golf, or would you rather, play in the windstorm, the rainstorm, whatever, I was always the proponent that rain. Give me rain all day, every single day. And then when I moved home earlier this year, played like 6, 7, 8 tournaments in a row, whatever, back to back it was 13 or 14 weekends straight, Saturdays of rain. Yeah. And I was like, maybe give me the wind. I'm sick of sitting under an umbrella. Yeah, exactly. So
frankly, I'll take snow over rain for sure. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But Josh, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. I mean, if we're talking weather, Saturday was beautiful. I got up to the top of a mountain before sunrise so I could see the sunrise. It was pretty epic.
Dang.
And then, it was a good weekend. Watched probably as much live disc golf as I have all season. Meaning I always catch a lot, but like with the USDGC and then Throw Pink kind of tacked on there, like it was awesome. Yeah, it was a good weekend.
I'll say this before we really get into everything USDGC related. This was my favorite year watching USDGC. And I've never been, you can listen to all 250 somewhat episodes, and almost every single one of them I probably say, I wish USDGC would move to kind of like a different course, whatever. I feel like we've outgrown Winthrop. But Jonathan Poole, Chad Sullivan, their team, they have done so many incredible things outside of the course itself, just the atmosphere of it, that it looks like just an absolutely incredible experience to go to. So this is my first time saying I'm glad it's at Winthrop. It created epic finishes in both the MPO and FPO divisions for Throw Pink or the USDGC. And it was awesome to watch. Great battles. And I did enjoy it. I think a couple tweaks every single year with the course are kind of good. Maybe move the hazards around, maybe move the OB around. I actually think it's great. A pins, B pins that they've been, using over the last few years has been awesome. And I think it tested everyone's game in a different way. Now, I wish there were a couple more trees out in the course, but I don't think they're going to be planting any 100-year-old oaks anytime soon. So anyways, but it was a great time. I did very much enjoy it. I know we're going to talk about it soon, so I can't wait to dive into that.
Yeah, soon, I guess, almost right now.
We're going to get Jesse Longenecker on. If you recognize the name, it's because he won a spot into the USDGC as the collegiate, if I'm not mistaken, champion.
Yep.
Yeah, and he had this year. Part of the feature card for day one. I wonder what kind of pressure that felt like to him. At this stage, when you're playing at a high level in any amateur event and you're taking it down, like if they're a national sized event, you come into the sport at pretty much at least pro level, maybe not top 10 pro level in the world, but you're coming in ready to play. And that's what we saw from him. I'm curious what he thought about his game and his performance, where he plans to go, but we'll talk to him in a little bit. But before we do that, Josh, you're going to break down some of the results for people to hear about.
Yeah, I think, we'll dive in. We've got plenty of topics to cover. And I know we've been saying USDGC over and over again. Of course, we know it was also throw.
It's the only major that took place.
Yeah, exactly. So we will talk about throw pink. I think the event was exciting. The players take it serious. It's run right alongside the major. It feels like a major. All the, we can say all the things at the same time. Maybe we'll share our opinions, but it wasn't a major. So we'll start with.
It was a
USDGC.
Major A tier, though.
Yeah, it was a major event.
I'm just. Let me just say this then. We said we'll get to that point. I'll just say my sentence. I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of throw pink. I'm sick of the conversation. Like, I'll be like talking about it like it's a major, and my kids will be like, "Dad, it's not a major." I'm like, they treat it like it is. Okay, that was it. We can come back.
No, I'm probably similar. I think let's have a little bit of a debate about that later. So USDGC, top event in our sport. Obviously, we know the title of world champ is probably a little bit more revered. But from an event standpoint, maybe this event's more revered. I guess that can always be debated. Obviously, one of the things to maybe a little bit on Nick's point is one thing they have going for them is the continued history at this venue, at this course, even though every year is a little bit different and some years are drastically different in its history. Still, I think that's the thing it has going for it, right? Just continues year after year after year. You have to qualify to get in. We even saw Monday qualifiers. We talked about that on the last show. So yeah, pretty awesome coming in. I think every single past U.S. champ was in the event except Ken Climo.
Which
he was there.
He was there.
Right, and he was there. Too bad, like he couldn't have like just whatever. It is what it is. But that's a lot. Like that does two things simultaneously. One, that's incredible that they were all there, and then it also reminds me how young our sport really is in the grand scheme of things. Even though, I mean, a lot of them are getting, a few of them are probably older than I am, but either way, that's pretty awesome to literally have them all competing, not just there for like a photo on the stage, but like they're in the event. Of course, they're given, they're qualified because they've been a winner. And in fact, a few of them were way down the list. You can tell they don't play or practice at a pro level anymore. But anyway, just thought I'd mention that up front. Pretty awesome to see that. And a few of the past winners battling it out for the win, or at least in the top 10. So pretty exciting. Man, just really quick, just not going to go round by round because you can kind of take a look at it, but I am going to mention a few things in the rounds. So Paul Macbeth comes out with a 10 down, followed up by Corey Ellis and Andrew Marweed with an 8 down. So we've seen Paul, is it fair to call it a resurgence, but late in this year, really feeling like he's all the way past this injury. And really kind of ramping it up. And we know, like, all right, heading into majors and everything on the line. I mean, he already has a legacy, but like you continue to build that, getting a major, tying the major, count with Ken Climo, all these things. And he comes out with a 10 down. And fans of Paul Macbeth, which you can count a few of us here in that bucket.
No, womp womp. Everyone's always like, what are these like fanboys of Macbeth? Everyone for 6 years they're like, why does it always seem that way? Like,
it depends. Well, it depends how you classify fanboy. Like I definitely am a fan of Paul. That doesn't mean I'm not happy for Anthony either.
True.
I'm a fan. I'm a boy.
Yeah.
Call me a fanboy.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it depends what you mean by that. If it discredits our opinion, then I think you're wrong. But
they think you're wrong.
The point is I'm saying like people are like all of a sudden you kind of get the eye emoji like, all right, Paul's had 2 wins and here he is, right? Like, is he going to throw down? And that's a good spot to be. So 10 down, great push. And then round 2, Ricky Wysocki throws a 13 down, and that's with a bogey on 18.
Yeah,
which is it's a challenging hole, but it's a birdieable hole. He could have been 15 down.
Yeah,
which is
historic.
I mean, honestly, like that round, if you go watch like the Pro Tour put together just like the clips, and I love it when Ricky's feeling it because it's just. Ricky wears his emotions on his sleeve, which we see later in like the final round when, what hole was it? The beach hole where the putt bounces out.
Yeah.
And you just see like, what's the emotion, the despair, the frustration, the disbelief? My point is Ricky is actually fairly reserved, kind of all focused, but when you see the emotions, it's awesome. So round 2 for Rick, have you ever played, not around to that level, because I don't think any of us have, but have you ever played a round relative to your level that just felt like you couldn't miss?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, only maybe one time.
I still remember one time, and it was at a league, and I'm not all that great, but like I torched, like I couldn't miss. And as an amateur, like that, it was unbelievable. I was driving
in yourself.
I was driving 50%, like 50 feet longer than I like ever do on those holes, and then I would just hit like circle 2 putts. Here's my point: is the talent level so much higher, which makes it more impressive. But that was Rick in round 2,
and unfortunately, it will not be remembered except for the stat keepers, the historic people that want to bring up the what could have been. He tied a course record. It would be massively different storyline. You'd be going down with arguably the best round of all time. I actually believe if you shot the 15 down, that's what it could have been. So yeah, it's one of those
1102, but of course that won't affect his player rating because USDGC does they take those out. But anyway, incredible. I mean, Paul didn't fall off too bad with a 9 down. Then this is where you see AB, which, spoilers, definitely. We know that's like AB threw a pretty consistent tournament with a 10 down, creeping up into the lead card. And congrats to Luke Taylor for making it there. So then we get to round 3. Starting this, like I remember seeing even on social media, everybody's like, all right, this is the card we've been waiting for. You've got the U.S. Championship on the line, all the stories. Rick trying to keep his annual, win streak going. He's never won USDGC. He's on a major drought for majors, literally, right? And then we already talked about the story for Paul. So, like, if you want to follow a card, like, there you go. Ricky, Paul, AB, Luke Taylor, awesome to see. Round 3 goes down, and Paul and Rick underperform. Disappointing. I don't know, like we're going to talk mostly about round 4, but they throw a 3 down and 2 down respectively. AB 8 down, Calvin Heimberg 8 down, and just notable both Andrew Marweed and Gannon Byrne 9 down. So this brings us to round 4, which is like, here we go, everything on the line. So I want to break down some of the moments in this round and get your reaction. So I'm going to toss it to you all as we go a little bit. But coming into that final round, to be clear, talk about a lead card. AB with a 2-stroke lead on Paul, Paul with a 1-stroke lead on Ricky, and Ricky with a 1-stroke lead on Calvin Heimberg. Awesome. Like, that's just like 3 major champions and AB in the lead. Who's won how many Pro Tour events? 5, maybe?
5 now?
All time?
Double check. Well, yeah, right. All time, but really it started last year, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, right, here he is sitting atop, and you wonder, like, if we were able to interview AB tonight. He's been on our show before, but we didn't get him here tonight. He's probably busy partying, relaxing, having fun, replying to the messages he wants to reply to, and we weren't on the list tonight, I guess, which is all right. I'm kind of saying that in jest.
This happened before, and then he's like, comes back to his phone after hanging out, and he's like, "Whoa, yeah, I'll come on." Like, so it's very possible he didn't see it.
Yep. No, I understand.
By the way, AB moved up into, in my opinion, 3rd place as far as like player of the year goes with this win. At least 3rd. You could argue,
yeah.
2nd, but I don't think so. It's close.
Yeah. Yep. So here he is sitting with a 2-stroke lead, and the reason why I was just mentioning if he were on the show is because he's an experienced winner on tour. He knows he has an elite game skill set. So, like, you don't question any of that. He probably has a lot of self-confidence, but I just got to wonder, like, I just want to literally know, like, what does it feel like to be sitting in the lead and having Paul, Ricky, and Calvin on your card behind you? Like, just like, what's that, like, emotion? Like, is it nerves of steel where you're just kind of like, yeah, no big deal, it's just another event? Are you trying to talk yourself into that? Or are you like acknowledging what the moment is, right? And like kind of eating it up. That's the way I've always talked about, like, comparing it to baseball when you've got like the closing pitcher, right? And some of the best of all time. It's like, do they just zone out and throw one pitch at a time, or do they know what the moment is, right? And like, to me, I'm impressed for the ones who like know what the moment is. They stare it in the eye and they're like, yeah, this is the biggest thing ever. Everything's on the line. And then go out and execute. Not exactly sure what AB's perspective was, but we know how the round went down. So I'm gonna go through it. But again, congrats to AB. Like I said, spoiler right up front, he wins, but he gives up the lead. When did he actually give up the lead? Was it by like hole
4? I think is when Paul tied him for the lead.
Yes. Yep. Well, let's see. AB ends up with a bogey, and then Paul gets a birdie on hole 2. So I think it was tied up by hole 3. Right?
No, AB didn't bogey hole 2, did he?
Oh, no.
I was looking at round 3.
I was looking at round 3.
It was hole 4, hole 5,
hole 4,
where it went
hole 4 and hole 5.
Up.
Yes.
Thank you. Literally, I'm literally looking at the wrong round. So thank you. Yep. So it's not all that fast, but again, you talk about that moment. It's like, okay, here's the momentum. Paul's tied it up. And then they both kind of, this is my perspective, just kind of meandered about a little bit, like nothing really like that spectacular, happening at that point. Hole 7, hole 8, hole 9, and then we get to hole 10. And you're running out of holes. So both the players, right? You've got to execute. And we've watched these events for years. Like every throw matters. So I'm maybe not literally on the edge of my couch, but I am, because something's going to turn. You've got people floating right behind that with Ricky and Calvin. Like, what's going to happen? Hole 10, and correct me if I state this wrong, but I'm sitting there and Paul has the box. And he throws it not literally straight, but straight into the crowd. And then, of course, we know AB steps up and puts himself in position for the eagle putt. There was still a lot of golf left. I was kind of frustrated, by the way. Like, Philo kept trying to act like it was wrapped up with 4 or 5 holes left. Drives me crazy. But at USDGC, that's that's nuts to even suggest that. Yeah. Regardless, what I will acknowledge is the tide felt like it turned right there. Mm-hmm. And then from there on out, it wasn't over. We can talk about the awesome putt on 16. There's still a few things to react to, but it felt like at that point, it was AB's to lose. I mean, you have a 2-stroke lead, heading into that last stretch, but it just felt like if AB just doesn't mess up, Paul can't catch him. That's what it felt like. Now, AB still missed a putt in there. There were still some hairy moments, but Paul just didn't take full advantage. What happened on hole 10's drive with Paul? An errant drive?
Yeah, this is where it's kind of tough. Is Paul played the whole, the first 3 rounds, he was 3 down. And there's no camera guy at the layup spot where all the guys were laying up. So all you see is the T cam and then the catch cam who's over by the basket. And so in all honesty, I don't know if he missed his shot by 50 feet or 5 feet or 5 inches. I have no idea. It looked like the same shot that he pretty much threw every single day. And then it just went out of bounds on the final day. So it's kind of tough to really say what the heck happened, because honestly, anyone that was watching, on camera has no idea what really happened with it, except it was just a bad shot. I mean, he played it, like I said, he played it 3 down the first 3 days. So it's not like he was going with his game plan. He knew he was birdieing it, first on the box. He wasn't pushing anything that he didn't need to push. I think in his mind, he probably had it to where it's like, okay, if AB throws a great shot, great. He gains 1 stroke. If AB throws a bad shot, then Paul potentially gains a stroke by getting the birdie again. And so really have no idea what happened to it.
It just, again, it doesn't come down to that one shot, but it just felt like neck and neck and neck and neck, and then that happens, and you're like, it was kind of bizarre. I mean, everybody has a bad throw, but in that moment, that's not normally what Paul's doing. Yeah. So,
but then you also got to think that, we're at USDGC, right? There's so much hazard and OB around the last 8 holes, 7, 8 holes, someone missed the triple mando, anything like that can happen.
Oh, so many things, right?
Yeah. So Paul getting up and down for the par, he made a great, 30-foot putt right after AB had hit the eagle putt. So Paul, he
definitely wasn't over.
Yeah.
Definitely, it was far from over. It just felt like they were neck and neck, and then that happened, and it was a break, and now it changes the dynamics, right? Like it's just there's momentum, there's flow. It just changes it when it's like, okay, I just gave up 2. What am I going to do about that? We're going to head off to an interview in just a minute here, and so I just want to finish this up. And believe me, we're going to come back and debate a few more USDGC topics for sure. But then we get to like hole 16. Paul has a bad drive. AB has a great drive in that reverse order. Paul hits this incredible putt, which then all of a sudden Philo's like, oh, maybe it's not over. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding, right? Right. But that was an awesome moment. Matt, to your comment earlier about people will forget about Ricky. People, I mean, again, independently won't forget about that putt from Paul, but like it won't ever be a conversation point. Mm-hmm. It's just like, that's like, it was epic moment. You felt like maybe the momentum could swing, but when it doesn't actually happen, again, kudos, awesome putt. The thing that makes it still awesome is in the moment, it wasn't over. So like Paul had to execute that to stay in there. So like it's still an incredible sports moment because at that moment he knew I had to hit it and he did. That is that clutch gene. It just didn't play out for the win. Mm-hmm. So that was awesome. Then we go to the infamous or famous hole 17. And again, I know we're just wrapping up here briefly, but AB launches this drive and it just has Velcro when it lands. I assume you've watched that replay more than once.
Yeah.
I mean, it's realistic because sometimes grass grabs a disc like that and he's throwing a slower disc and all the things to consider. But man, that thing could have easily skipped up and out and it just stops.
What's hard to know is if it goes out of bounds, does Paul play for the birdie or does he play for the ace? I don't know what he was doing for sure. I'd imagine he had some level of, I'm going to try to ace this in him.
Yeah.
So
if AB goes out of bounds, Paul's just getting up and down with the 2 or 3 on that hole. He's not throwing a swooping forehand trying to ace it. Yeah, he's getting it inbounds and then hopefully making a putt.
Right, yeah, and make it to hole 18.
Though. And if we are fans of Paul, it's going to sound like we're like, come on, AB, go out of bounds. But the reality is I wanted a great story. It would have been even more exciting coming down to the last putt. Even if AB won it, it was still really exciting for every hole until then, and it just kind of played out. So it was going to just go AB's way, which was awesome and fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know we're wrapping Matt really, really briefly, but yeah, so incredible way to finish hole 18 is what it is. AB brings it home. Congrats to him. It's an exciting moment. His family's there. I mean, and he deserved it because literally, like we'll talk about throw pink and the way that went down, but as a contrast, AB had to execute. And there were multiple times during that round where he would have felt the pressure and did exactly what needed to be done, right? Like shots for eagles, putts when they needed to happen, no errant drives. So congrats to AB. First time major champ, U.S. championships. So awesome. But yeah, I know we're going to move to an interview and then we'll come back and we'll debate a few topics like, do you like the baskets? What about the course? Nick, your point about finally liking the course. I've got some thoughts on all that. So we'll come back to that in a bit.
Awesome. All right, let's jump into an interview with Jesse. Make sure I have the right buttons here per usual. What's up, Jesse? Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely. It's working well. In fact, you look like you're in a studio of your own, like a TV studio. Where are you at?
Yeah. It's so I'm back at college now. And,
okay.
This is the quietest space I could find. But,
what college are you attending?
Yeah, so I go to Eastern Mennonite University. It's in Virginia. It's about 2 hours north of Lynchburg, just popular disc golf location. So
yeah, I just saw a house and course up for sale in Good. 40 acres. I believe it's related to the Macbeth's layout. Nick, what do you know about that? Do you know anything?
Yeah, it's the old apartment that I used to live in. The guy, Josh and his wife Jess, are just selling it, and that's really all that it is.
Still has the original course on it though that Paul designed.
Yeah.
There you
all
go,
the
Jesse.
And tee pads
couple
are
hours away. I think it's
Wow, I'll
listed
have to
for
give it a try.
899,000. I don't know if college and that go together, but it's for
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I mean, Jesse just won $970.
Oh,
So
okay.
There's your 0.1%.
That's his
of a
gas
down
money to
payment.
go check it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So welcome to the show for the first time. We've observed your play as far as like remotely. We're impressed with what you've done, and we thought people would like to know more about you and if they can expect to see you, in furthering your disc golf we'll say career for now, because we don't know your take on that. But first of all, most people are going to probably recognize some level of collegiate. So you played down here at Winthrop, and is this correct? You won your spot into this feature card at the USDGC this year. Tell us about how you got into that.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool, actually. I didn't even know it at the time, but Chad Sullivan came up to me right after I won the collegiate nationals in the first division, Division One, and he was like, "I'll see you at USDGC," and I was like, "What?" I had no idea. It was like cherry on top. So yeah, I was just stoked to be there.
Awesome. So you performed at a high level, because they do their best to put the spotlight on the collegiate scene. Of course, that looks fantastic. It's an amazing thing they have going on for collegiate disc golf. Did you play your best disc golf at this collegiate championship, or did you feel like, I don't want to say it was a walk in the park? Do you feel like you performed at your absolute highest, and that's what it took to take it down this year?
Yeah, I think, definitely in the first round. I mean, I shot my highest rated round at the time. So the way it works is it's 18 holes, and then there's a cut. It's a pretty small cut. I think it's like the top 20 or something. And then you play 9 holes, the final 9. And I mean, that final 9 was not by any means the best disc golf I can play, but I built up enough of a cushion to
Awesome.
where, I was able to play it pretty safe down the stretch.
Awesome. So tell us about your game a little bit. For those who aren't as familiar, because we don't see you on lead card coverage, which is where a lot of people end up watching disc golf. What is your background with disc golf? Just because I do believe ratings tell us something, give us a little bit of information about your rating and maybe how you've trended over the years, if you've been playing for years. So tell us your introduction to disc golf.
Yeah. I started playing on the pro side, I think in 2023. At the end of 2022, I think I switched over and started playing pro events. But yeah, it's just been more and more for me every year. I started out doing local C and B tiers, and started traveling more and more regionally for A tiers. This year I played like 9 or something A tiers, and then sprinkled in Idlewild and Ledgestone. But yeah, I mean, my rating right now is at 1028 or 1027, I think, maybe. So yeah, starting to get to the point where I'm like, maybe could think about touring. But yeah, right now I'm in college in my sophomore year, and so taking it one step at a time.
Yeah. So it sounds like, am I doing the math correct? You would have been playing disc golf before college. How long have you been playing before that, even if just an amateur level, just for fun?
Yeah. So I think I started playing more intensely when COVID started. I mean, I had
Okay.
before COVID, it was like couple times a year sort of thing. But then, all the free time, I was out in the field every day, and sometimes played 1 or 2 rounds almost every day with my brother and dad. And so that's when I really got into it, and then started playing tournaments sort of when things started back up after COVID.
Awesome. Do you feel like your ramp up to your spot now? Let's just say, I know 1030 is a big mark, but like you're right around there. Do you feel like the ramp up from when you started, whether it's pre-COVID, right at COVID, do you feel like it was a tough grind, or do you feel like you're more of a naturally athletic, it was coming easier to you, or is it really hard? Like it was a grind, man. I got to work hard at this. This isn't natural to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it all just came naturally, but
Yeah.
it's because I've definitely put in a fair amount of work.
Right.
But I mean, really, it's mostly been just like the love of the game for me so far. I mean, that's what's been driving me the most, is just truly enjoying putting in practice, and seeing that improvement. Every year I've improved pretty substantially. So that's exciting to see, and that just makes you want to get out and do it more.
Absolutely. So you won your spot, whether you knew it or not. Chad said, "Hey, welcome. We're going to have you play." You played your first round. I watched most of it in and out. How would you rate your tournament performance as a whole? How did you feel coming out of USDGC?
Yeah, I think I was pretty encouraged at the end, feeling like, as a whole, I feel like this was a pretty average performance for me on a weekend. And so, seeing finishing tied for 30th was like, man, like I can definitely see myself belonging here. And I don't have a whole lot of experience on the Pro Tour yet, so I really have no idea what that would look like for me. But yeah, I mean, I think day two, I definitely had some struggles. But I never really felt like I had a super hot round. So, I feel like there's definitely room for improvement.
Yeah. If I just look down the list there, Adam Hammis, Raven Newsom, Corey Ellis, Ezra Robinson, Ezra Aderhold, Sullivan Tipton, Paul Ulibarri, Matty O, Casey White, Yakub. I could keep going. People know these names, and this is not you bragging on it, but you outperformed all of them and a lot more. So your average performance, you said, your rating's like 1,027. Your average here was 1,030. So to your point, yeah, you probably played about how you felt like I'm this. I could have popped off or played worse, but this is about who I am right now. And right now, who you are is pretty good. What do you have to look forward to in disc golf? You're in college. You said you've played a handful, 10, 9, 10, A tiers this year. Is that kind of your plan for next year as well? Like just to play the A tiers, maybe sneak in possibly an invite to a pro tour? Like where are you at?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously I'm still in college. And so I think a big thing for me is wanting to continue playing college disc golf because there's something really valuable about that for me. But I am going to be trying to do more and more pro tours next year and in the following years, and then we'll see. I'll reassess after college and see, what things are looking like. But to play college disc golf right now, you can't accept a tour card. So
that's right.
I think just keeping my rating high enough to where I can get into these pro tour events without the tour card would be really nice. But yeah,
I love that idea. Yeah, I have friends here locally. You probably are aware of Paul Kranz. You've heard Harry Chase. This was a year or two ago where we were having similar conversations with them, and they're from my local area. They're my friends. And it's just fun to watch that progress of like, as you're getting closer to that opportunity, do you take it? Do you want to try out the tour, right? Is that something you want to try to do? So I'll just ask you in the now, and this could be something that, you come back to and you look at this interview in a year or two and be like, I don't know what I was thinking, but like right now, if you were given the opportunity and we said next year you could tour, is that something like you would like to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's sort of complicated right now. I have a lot of things going on. I'm trying to figure out, what I'm interested in school. And
how old
just,
are you?
other
21?
things. I'm 19.
19.
Right now.
I'm wrong with the years of college now. Okay, so 19.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
So 19. So you're still trying to figure out what does it look like?
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, I'm an environmental science major right now. One thing that is sort of tough for me with disc golf is like, being in a science. It's you really want to be like doing an internship or something during the summer to try to figure out what you want to do and get some experience. But that's when I want to be playing disc golf. So, it's a little hard for me to figure out both of those things at the same time.
If someone offered you, I'll just make up a number, $100,000, like, is money a factor in I'm sure lots of things are factors because you're like, what's long-term? But like someone's like, dude, $100,000 for 10 years. Are you in on that like right now? Or are you just kind of like, I just don't know because I have a lot to think about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I'm not a finance guy. Like I don't honestly know what that even would mean.
What that turns into. I guess I'm just trying to see, just trying to see what it is for you. So what are you're studying for something in science, you said?
Yeah, so I'm an environmental science major right now.
Ah, okay. So what does that
But
likely translate into for a job? Like, what do people mostly do when they come out of that?
yeah, so see, that's what sort of what I'm trying to say is, having time to figure that out is
Yeah,
important, and I don't
yeah,
feel like I'm getting that. But disc golf is a big part of my life, and I can absolutely say that if I'm given the
yeah,
financial opportunity to give the pro tour a try for a year, that I'm gonna take that. And
yeah, cool.
I love disc golf and want to pursue it as far as I can.
Yeah, no commitments here. Obviously, this is just conversation. I'm just trying to feel it out.
Yeah, yeah, of
Because
course.
being in your spot, I can remember back now. For me, that's 21 years ago, and just being like, and this is not me downplaying you either, but like, what is even the next steps of life? Like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah,
does it
yeah.
matter if I get a college degree? All these questions. So you like disc golf. I heard that. You said, all I know is I like disc golf and a job would get in the way of my summers. I heard that part and I
Yeah.
agree and I feel that. So, awesome. That's a little bit of background. I have one more question and then I'll pass it over to the other guys. What are you doing besides disc golf in college? Is it typical? Are you gaming like for fun on the evenings? Are you eating lots of pizza? Like, what's your hobby? Hangout, music? I don't know. Like, what's your hobby besides disc golf?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, a typical night looks like, doing something outside with my friends. I mean, I don't think I've touched a video game since coming to
Okay.
college. So,
Okay.
I love I go like backpacking and
Oh, cool.
climbing. Big into like outdoor activities like that, and then just like having a fire and sitting around with some friends and
Very
having a good
cool.
time. So
Very
that's a
cool.
typical
I
night.
can see a social media like reel with that type of thing going on. The hiking, the night music, the campfire to finish the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you said climbing. When you say climbing, are you talking like hiking or are you talking rock climbing?
Rock climbing.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
sort of been a new hobby for me actually this semester. Some friends are getting into it, and so it's a
Cool.
good time.
I have not that you're in it at this level or wanting to compete, but I have one of my childhood friends. He's the US Olympic coach for climbing. So if you ever need some
Wow.
inspiration about how to move forward in that competitive world, I'd be glad to hook you up. His name's Josh
That's
Larson.
sweet.
There you
That'd
go.
be a great resource.
I used to climb through my teenage years, and now if you tried to put me on the wall, I'd think I remembered how to do it, but I'm not in shape to do it. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Oh, that's awesome.
good
The
times.
forearms and the fingertips are the first things to start shredding.
Exactly. I'm like, dang, I forgot how
Yeah.
much.
I'll go out
pumped.
bouldering every so often with Josh Larson's younger brother Zach, who used to
Yeah.
compete in speed bouldering, and he would take us out. He works at a gym. He's the route setter there, and we'd start V1s, V2s, and he would just kind of coach us through it. And then I'm thinking there, I'm like, oh, these are easy. Let's go on to like V4, V5, V6, and I think I tried a V4 and just fell straight on my ass about 8 times, just trying to get from one rock to another one and just fall right backwards onto the mats. And
Oh, climbing is so fun. Climbing is
That's
so
good.
fun.
That's
Yeah,
good.
for sure. Do you do bouldering mainly or vertical? Like, what are you doing mainly?
Yeah, I haven't
Like in
haven't done
gyms?
much bouldering. Yeah, I mean we have a gym here at school that
Oh, cool.
my girlfriend and one of our friends started. They sort of got it up running this year because it had been dormant for a while. But
So
yeah, so that's a good
for
time.
the climbers who are listening right now and they're hearing Nick say V this, V that, when you're climbing lead or top rope, you're talking 5'11", 5'9", 5'8", right? That's the rating system. Are you aware of the rating system or no? We're not into that yet.
Yeah,
What-
totally. So I mean the V1, V2, that'd be bouldering.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. So what are you climbing as your experience level in climbing? 5 what?
I climbed to 5'10" just last week. I mean,
Nice.
I'm just getting into it. and
Nice.
So yeah,
You're-
just having fun.
Yeah, the 5'10", man. That's really fun and that's great just starting out. Fantastic. So all right. We've gone off topic a little bit, but hopefully people feel like they know you a little bit more now. Any other natural hidden talents or tricks that people would be like, wow, that's cool. Like you can, I don't know, whistle like a bird. That's something I can do, but
Oh geez, I don't
nothing.
even know.
Okay. We're just putting
I'm
them
a
on the spot.
One talent type of guy.
One talent. Sounds like you have a lot of fun. Josh.
Well, which is disc golf. I'm gonna reel us back, Jesse. Even though I would like to chat about all these hobbies.
Yeah, totally.
So you played 2024 Worlds, which was semi-local in Lynchburg. Okay. And then, of course, you're competing all in between, but then you go and win the national championship, which, by the way, I mean, we already talked about that, but again, congrats. I mean, to be the #1 player in Division I in the country in college, which has really kind of had a big boost in the last couple of years. So again, big kudos.
Thanks.
But then you show up at the Pro Tour at Idlewild, right? Was that your first? Yeah, that would have been your first Pro Tour, I think.
Actually, I think Ledgestone would have been my first.
Ledgestone would have been your first in August, and then after that, you show up at Idlewild. Now at Ledgestone, you finished 16th, which is a pretty darn good finish.
Yeah, thanks.
And then you go to Idlewild and you pop off round 1. Because in fact, USDGC, you were on feature card, but you've been on coverage before.
Right.
Like, just how did that round 1 feel at Idlewild, and then showing up on lead card coverage, really your first experience? Again, you were a college championship, but that's different than the Pro Tour. Like, what did that feel like with the cameras on you, the performance? Felt good about all that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I talked about this sort of in an interview with DGN before the first round of USDGC. Like, it took me a while to get adjusted to that lead card experience. Yeah, I think, my back nine was a lot cleaner. So, I think I was able to get to more comfortable space, but it's definitely an adjustment. I mean, it's the same sport, but like, you're playing in front of people and cameras, and that's not something I'm used to. And so it's going to take some time.
Yeah. So again, congrats. I know maybe the finish at Idlewild wasn't what you probably would have wanted, but still showing up on the Pro Tour and performing that way is pretty awesome. So you've played in 2 Pro Tour and 2 Pro Major events at this point. And Matt asked you a little bit about, tour, and you're trying to figure all that out, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you have a tour card for 2026. So,
no tour card.
Okay. And so, like, at this point, you're just going to decide to play whichever events make sense to you, given your schedule, priorities, all of that, and just really ad hoc. That's kind of your current plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome. You talked about kind of tackling different A tiers. Just looking at the calendar, it looks like you were in the Northeast for a while. Is that right?
Yeah.
How was that?
In the Northeast.
I mean, again, our show's coming out from the Northeast. So how was that experience? I mean, tell us a couple of the well-known courses you might have played. And yeah, just give us your rundown on the Northeast experience.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the Northeast. I've played, I think the last 2 years I did, Brewster Ridge Open, which is, it's at Brewster and Fox up at Smuggler's Notch. So obviously a legendary place. So that's been pretty fun for me. And then also Warwick, New York.
That's a great course.
Yeah, pretty famous tournament, a lot of history, and I was able to win that one this year. And I think I would call that my biggest win, maybe aside from collegiate nationals. Yeah, but I mean, just a lot of great tournaments that happen up there. I played Cosmic Open at Maple Hill this year, and so I hope to be back for some of those.
Were you actually like touring? Like, were you with a friend? Were you just like driving? Like, how were you tackling the trail?
Yeah, so I was living out of my Prius for a lot of that, or my parents' Prius, I guess I should say.
The Prius.
But yeah, taking after Ezra Aderholt. Yeah. Living in the Prius, but
eating beans I spent a lot out of cans.
Yeah, exactly. I spent a lot of that time though with Lucas Oberholzer Hess, another really talented guy from our area, and I've sort of grown up playing with him. We were family friends, and he's a large reason I'm into disc golf. But we go to a lot of tournaments together, and so yeah, doing a lot of travel with him.
Awesome. So you already told Matt a little bit of some of your history of the sport and how you really kind of refreshed during COVID. I know it's been somewhat public out there, and I want to make sure it's at least mentioned on the show. You've talked about some of your inspiration is your brother. It was Nathan, I believe, right, who has actually passed away from brain cancer. But maybe just let us know a little bit about that inspiration and kind of his role in motivating you to play disc golf early on in your career, and now seeing what you're doing. Just let us know a little bit about that part of your story.
Yeah, so totally. So I mean, Nathan was my older brother, 4 years older than me, and like I mentioned, me and him and my dad, we would all go out and we would play rounds like every day during COVID. So just there's a lot of special memories with him, and then he actually came to EMU where I'm at now,
Okay.
and then he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, just barely 2 weeks into his second semester at college. And so then 8 months later, he passed away. And,
Wow.
disc golf was obviously something that, we shared together. I mean, we did so many other things aside from disc golf, and he was a special person for so many other reasons as well. But yeah, I mean, he told me literally, like, you got to play disc golf for me. And so that's always been, a reason that I feel such a strong connection to disc golf. And then actually just October 8th, I think, is his death day. And so,
Okay.
Playing USDGC, he was left-handed. And, I for some reason I have a connection with USDGC and left-handed players.
Yeah, I think, for sure. Being
dominant to that spin is, helpful out there. And we always dreamed of playing this tournament together. And it's just really special weekend for me playing my first USDGC.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm sure that's still kind of hard as well, but hopefully also inspirational, and having that connection and inspiration from your brother. And I'm confident you would have made him, or did make him proud. So so keep that up and keep that kind of motivation and inspiration going for you. So Matt, Nick, I'll bring it back to you all, but Jesse, thank you for joining us. It's great to meet more people who are out there competing with great stories along with that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to do something. I put Jesse on the spot with like what they call stupid human tricks, and he's like, I don't know. I'm going to put Nick on the spot. What's your stupid human trick, Nick? See, it's hard to do, right?
I don't think I have any stupid human tricks. I can whistle. I can't sing.
Just had to be equal here.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't think of any that is like over the top pretty cool.
That hurts my ears.
All right. Well, we awesome having you. If you ever make it around up here to Maple Hill, even if it's just for fun, passing through, you got our contacts. You got Ben's contact. You reach out. We'll be glad to get in around, have a good time at Maple Hill. I'm literally just
he played Cosmic. He played Cosmic. You just didn't meet him there. Yeah.
Sweet.
But
sweet. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I wasn't competing.
I'd love to play around with
you
guys.
Yeah. So.
By the way, Jesse, not that this matters because you go to EMU, but I'm an alumni of Liberty, so I have that Virginia connection down that way.
Rival school.
Yeah, exactly. But
for sure.
I didn't even know, but I didn't know what disc golf was back when I attended there. I'm older than you, so
that's how old I am. Disc golf.
I'm pretty sure. No, they definitely weren't playing disc golf at Liberty when I was there. I'm sure of it.
Not like they are.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll have them up for our home tournament here in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
so
cool.
Should be good.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
I think EMU.
So
I mean, did EMU finish what as a team? Second place or something?
In the nationals?
Yes.
I think we were like 13th.
Oh, okay. So way down. All right. But you brought home the. All right. Well, sorry.
You brought home the trophy. That's
he
all
brought
that
home the
matters.
number one, so you can still feel
I
good
don't
about
think
that.
you're right.
I'm sure the team was proud.
Is this remember the game Stat or Fiction, Josh?
I was just testing.
That was just testing. Stat or
Awesome.
Fiction. EMU took home second place.
No,
all right.
wrong.
Awesome. Great to have you, man. We're going to let you go, and we're going to keep talking USDGC. Thanks for being a part of it, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
See you later, Jesse.
There you go.
EMU came in 18th.
Josh goes, he took second. He's like, I have to say.
I don't know where I got
He's
that
like,
from.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I knew he was
wasn't
first.
second.
He's like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right.
Awesome. Well, great story, and really cool inspiration from his brother as well. It's got to be incredibly hard to lose your older brother. At that, it's hard no matter when, but at that age, and to have it kind of happen so traumatically in an 8-month window.
8 months, 0 to, yeah, wow.
And then for him to be able to attend EMU, now, right, and play the sport of disc golf and play it really at a top level, to be the #1 college player is pretty awesome title to have. And then to be performing well when he's showing up at some of these pro events, which are always a whole nother level. So yeah, so congrats to Jesse, and thanks for joining. So USDGC, any discussion about the baskets? Innova, I believe
Simon
communicates, but yeah. So Innova, I think, right, said what's it called, the disc catcher tour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out right now and say I know all the discussion. I saw what I saw with my own eyes, but I did not dive into the discussion in depth. I know nothing more than that, other than people do like to find drama. The question is there actually drama here? Like, did this basket,
warranted, right?
Yeah, did this basket surprise people? Did it underperform tour level expectations? Blah, blah, blah. What do we think?
I am of the opinion that no matter what basket you have out there, if we had cameras on everybody's putts, we could come up with a highlight reel of how bad every basket is.
Maybe we should do that.
Yeah. Because you'd be like, this is the worst basket in the world. Look at all these spit outs. Look at all these cut throughs. Like, if you film enough, you will catch bad stuff with every single basket. Now, what
bring back the mock X's?
Yeah, we'll bring back one that everybody says, but it does less. And that's what the goal is, right? To get to a less state where you see less. I don't know if I'd say less cut throughs, frankly. I just feel like you should putt a little flatter, but less whatever you want to call it, where you feel like that's an 80%, 90% putt, whatever, it should stay in. What's hard for me is when they'll show like a putt like Ricky's on the beach
Ricky's
hole.
wasn't a spit out.
No, it bounced
Not
off
at
the
all.
top
That wasn't
rim.
the basket.
It bounced off the top rim, which brings it up into the chains, which possibly, because the chains are a little heavier in the middle now, maybe it pushed it out. But it wasn't what you would call a always make putt. So like there's certain things that are getting shown and people are reacting to that I go, I don't buy that. Here's my last take. They took a great basket, the Disc Catcher Pro 28. Mm-hmm. In fact, a lot of people put it up there as maybe at least in the conversation for the top 3.
The old gold bands, man.
Yeah.
You could not beat them.
And they said, let's make it better so that we can fix the problem of people hitting a center pole and coming out, back out, adding a set of chains that hang pretty close to directly up against the pole. I don't know what else, if anything else, they changed. And so maybe it would have been beneficial coming into this conversation. I don't know that they did change anything else. But if they didn't, it's hard for me to believe that just center dangling chains against the pole would make everybody cut through, maybe bounce out. If you're now used to putting a little softer, maybe it pushes them out. Long story short, basket conversation, figure out the putts, hit putt differently. I watched Nicholas putt a million miles an hour because there's wind. I get it. It comes out. We've talked about this before. If you start realizing things, then change it up. So to that point, I'll say.
Did it feel different?
Well, there should be one other conversation point here, and I'll end this. It should be, what is this about rolling out brand new things at like a super high level? That is a little questionable. That being said, if they only hung middle chains, then I don't really care. But if it's like a lot of changes, rolling it out at Chad, I'll hit you up, Chad Sullivan. I know you're not the guy who designed them, but you were part of it at your event. Yeah.
Did it? I'm literally using this word on purpose. Feel, because I don't think any of us captured stats. Matt, to your point, we could get anything on coverage if we did that. Did it feel different? Like, was it happening more often on camera coincidentally?
I don't think so.
So then, like, where does the discussion even come from? Because it
was announced right before the event. Here is our Disc Catcher tour. And what does that do? If we come out and we say we are the new and improved Staggered Stance next year, and something doesn't feel right to people, like as in it's not what they're used to or what they like, immediately it's like, whoa, they said it was going to be this and that. That's where I think a lot of this is coming from. If they didn't tell anybody, this is my test, right? If they not told anybody anything was changed, I don't know.
Yeah,
would anyone have noticed it?
That's what I'm kind of saying.
I get what you mean.
So I'm going to say so my comment does not necessarily disagree with yours, but maybe it's out of ignorance. For some reason, it felt different to me. And then Matt, like if we were able to go back and be like, yeah, Josh, but look, like it's the same as every event on average. And I'd probably be like, okay, cool. Like in other words, I wouldn't dispute it, but I'm just saying it felt different. And maybe it's because I'm influenced by the drama and the conversations, and I'm watching it differently. I would acknowledge all that could be true, but I just felt like I saw different cut throughs and bounce backs in both Throw Pink and USDGC that just felt different. But Matt, at the same time, like I don't know how I could rationalize that. Right, that slight adjustment on the basket would contribute to that.
I'm asking now to see if that's the only difference. If I get an answer.
Yeah. So anyway, like to me, I've always been on the side of like learn to putt on the baskets. But again, if they're bringing something new and then we see a lot happen, that could be incredibly frustrating. But I'm kind of in the camp, it is what it is. But it did feel different. That's what I'm just stating. I'm kind of acknowledging if other people felt like, wow, we saw a lot more. It felt that way to me too. But maybe we'll let somebody go calculate what actually happened.
There's a lot of love for the Titan by Gateway.
Yeah.
I'm not anti that, but I guarantee you there will be stuff that happens. Like if that basket, the one that everyone's raving about, rolls out at the event, because everyone's been waiting for this basket to be used on tour, right? And then the day happens where it is. Do you know how much scrutiny will be on that basket? Something will pop out and people will be like, oh, we're right back where we started. It's like at some point you got to realize like this is going to happen. You're going to have this. And there's going to be some that look egregious with every single basket. And you're going to say, well, Matt, we can lessen the amount. I think I'm generally in agreement with that. I think I would be for that, lessening the amount. But unless we have real data, like there's no way to do that except for it was on the lead card, so we saw it on coverage, and I saw it more times than usual. But let's say 80% of the rest of the field didn't have that trouble. It's hard to do. So
yeah, for sure.
It's okay.
I mean, Matt, like literally on coverage, we hear this being debated. And if you and I and Nick were to watch a shot that doesn't land in the basket, I'm not going to say spit out or anything, but we watch one that doesn't land in the basket. Even we, in many cases, would have differing opinions if we think that putt should have caught.
Yes.
So even that just shows there's some subjectivity, right? Physics is the sole determiner.
They were a little high and left, like
weak side. They should putt slower. They should putt higher. They should putt a flat angle. I'm going to give you credit for something you said. I don't remember how long ago when we were talking about the rule of time violation. You said, Matt, we know what is more than 2 minutes or whatever it was. We know more than 30 seconds. Easy. Right. You might not know 35, what a bad putt is, but you know what 2 minutes is. So I think you could do that for baskets. And I think that's generally where people's sentiment is coming from. It's not a matter of, can we all agree it was a little high or a little left or a little low or a little, but you can agree when something looks like, no, like that should catch 99% of the time. Like those are the ones that are tough for people. So like, I feel the pain, but I also think this was an overreaction to the quote improvement to this basket. We'll see. We'll see. I'm curious if it's just the center chains. Maybe it makes that big of a difference, but who knows? All right. I mean, so we brushed by not brushed by it, but we moved on to the interview for the recap. I just wanted to briefly say, like, Nick, to react to your comments right at the top of the show, how you were like finally happy to see the event at Winthrop. Like, I have mixed feelings on it still, and here's my mixed feelings. Everything about the event earns the praise it gets. So I'm agreeing with that. Like, it's one of my favorite events. The history on the course makes it incredible. Like, we can literally talk about each hole and kind of the moments that have happened there. It seems to challenge the players, right? It's a unique course with all the OB and hazards, and they pinch things tight, but it's kind of cool. We know the vibe. Like, all of these things are great. And yet, as our course continues to grow and expand, we're seeing more incredible, aesthetically pleasing courses on tour. We're seeing a lot of that nowadays. Mm-hmm. And then our U.S. Championship, to me, still looks underwhelming. Now, as a longtime person in the sport, it's easy for me to get over it because I know the history of the course, and that just like it's all like intertwined for me, right? I'm kind of like, cool. Like, I don't care that hole looks weird where it's undulating and it looks like it's a drainage ditch with rocks scattered in the fairway alongside a busy road. Doesn't matter to me because I know the history of the hole and like what's happening. But then I just sit back and I'm like, it looks like the early ages of a sport who was just using property that they could use rather than like the cream of the crop, best natural property that's turned into an epic course. Yep. And here's the thing. I don't have a solution for that. I'm just acknowledging I don't like that, but you can't have both. And the only other thing is maybe I still wonder if at some point you say, look, the sport's going to be around for another 50 years.
Yes.
When do you make the cut and say, this is where our sport's at, make the cut and reinstitute the history of this event at a premier, organically grown course that can still have the same vibe as USDGC, keep the culture, etc.
I thought you were going somewhere else. That's why I said yes. And then I said,
and then you said no. Tell me what you got then.
I was thinking 50 years ahead too. 50 years ahead in the sports, let's just, I don't know, hypothetical. It's advanced to a very far, big, huge event, like sport. You look back and this event has continued on that whole time. This even gets more and more impressive, where it's like, this is that event that people are like, it's what we do. We play at this property and we have a mat, like the NFL goes to some backyard, Super Bowl. Like, it would be epic because you'd be like, the sport is so huge, but they do this event and they test people on a different level in a very unique environment. So I'm kind of like, there's nothing to be fixed. I do get the sentiment of like appearance compared to what you would think of when it comes to an elite sport. I do agree with that. It does not look that way. But one event a year, do we have others? There's a few others. I hate to say
there's
it,
not,
but like the Beast Waco. Like I don't love
which is off the tour
aesthetic.
now. It's off the tour at least this year. Or in 2026. I
get that is what I'm trying to say.
I'm torn by the way, because like again, yeah, I already said it up front. Like I really don't actually have much criticisms to USDGC. I think they're like probably getting an A+ on everything they're doing with what they're given. I'd just be curious, like in the inner boardroom meetings, how they feel about the longevity of being at Winthrop. In other words, are they doubling down on what you just said, which could be one approach, which is like, this is the heritage of the event. We're not giving this up unless we have to. Right. And like, okay, like latch onto it. Or is it kind of like, man, we wish we had more to play with to really bring this to where like it could be?
I think they actually they even have way more room at that venue. I had the privilege of being invited down there. They could, this is the point, they could go even more big, even more epic. It's not the constriction or constraints, if you will, of the venue. I think what I'm hearing is it's the feel. But when you get there, so it's hard to say because when you're there as a fan,
I hear this from everybody.
Yeah, it's a different experience in person. So
maybe it's just one of these where it's like, so I'm willing to accept it because I think the event deserves it, but maybe I'm just like little sad that we can't get something different. But then I can simultaneously say, yeah, but that's just what our sport is. That's kind of. But
we have other events, and this is my point. 1 out of 20 plus events, it feels like this is that event. It's what people are saying. I heard a few of the players say, along the lines of most prestigious event, and then they would follow it up now with in the U.S. I recognize that this year. That didn't used to be a thing. So they're just saying that we feel this other places as well, but definitely this is it in the United States, the most prestigious.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's interesting. Anything to add to that, Nick? I mean, you don't have to. I just like anything to add to that. You said
no. I mean, it's pretty spot on. My same mentality. I mean, I've said it for years past that I would love the. I'm sure renting out Winthrop, right? Everything that they have to rent out is probably a pretty penny. Imagine taking that money X amount of years and putting it into, potentially your own facility, your own course, or a different place, right? This is the best way to equate it. This is our Masters in golf. They go down to Augusta, Georgia, one of the most beautiful courses all year. It's world round. It's the most prestigious event that I know of in golf. I'm pretty immature when it comes to all the golf events, but like that is the one that brings everyone back, even the casual, listeners and watchers. The USDGC is, arguably one of the most prestigious events in all of disc golf, and it's an A+ tournament on a C+ course. And, it has some cool holes to it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think there's a lot of fun parts about the course, but in general, it's very park style. It's right on a school campus. And so I think the way that I said it, it's an A+ tournament with a C+ course is the best way for me to describe it. I'd love it if they move to a more beautiful property that could.
So you're rating a C, because Josh is doing this too. Your level of rating is aesthetics, right? That's what you guys are saying. It's aesthetics.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. I just don't love the way like it looks on camera.
Yeah. Like I would rather a
I agree with the aesthetics.
I'd rather a beautiful golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than Winthrop's backyard kind of thing.
It's not a fair litmus test, like, because I don't think this is the right standard in all cases, but it's one factor, which is right now, if you had to show somebody like a family member, like check out disc golf coverage. Yeah. Because you're like, the sport's awesome. You're not pulling up USDGC.
Disclaimer. Yeah.
Like if this tournament wasn't the USDGC,
choosing to pull that one up.
Yeah. If this tournament wasn't the USDGC, this course wouldn't be on tour, right? Maybe. Yeah. I would assume like if this wasn't the United States Disc Golf Championships, like they probably wouldn't use Winthrop as a tour level course, right?
Like what you're going to do is pull up like the World Championships that we just saw in Europe, right? Like that's what you're going to do.
But that's also, that's, World Championships have been hit or miss in the past, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying this year.
So many worlds go, Emporia, Kansas, and we talk about DDO or GBO every single year. Same thing back in 2021. We had the Mulligan's course, which was on kind of a very meh golf course. But then, last year's World Championships are hosted over in Lynchburg at Ivy Hills, where, it's a public course, but it's owned by a wonderful family who put a lot into it, the multiple courses that they own.
Right.
And there's a lot of cool aesthetics that go along with that course. Like that's why I'm excited to watch the Pro Tour Championships with Ivy Hill involved, because one, I've been there in person. I think it's an incredible place to play golf, but then also, the golf course itself, I think they designed a pretty awesome golf course, which is why I would love it if USDGC, if you want to keep the openness aspect to it, if you want to, the most beneficial thing about Winthrop, right, is all the parking, all the space that they have for player warm-up fields, parking, everything like that is right on the property. And in disc golf right now, that's one of the biggest rarities. Even when I was helping run Olympus, we had to park people off-site. We had vendors in our parking lot, but we couldn't have any players or anything parked like that. There was no great warm-up field, anything like that, to where all those things, when you're someone helping run a tournament or run a course, those all factor into it. And Jonathan, Chad, and their team have all the things that you want right on that property, which is why it's the hardest thing to go away from it. I know, Jonathan, we've had him on the podcast multiple times, and every single time we have him on, he convinced me a little bit more each time about why they do it there and why it's a good decision to do it there. Yeah. My biggest thing is just, to be able to host that many people as it grows and grows and grows. But
have you been there, Nick?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I figured. Josh, you haven't. So
no, I haven't.
Next year we'll go down, but we got to plan out ahead of time. We'll go down. And you'll get a firsthand experience, which is what they did with me. And I had very similar critiques. And you can't take away the aesthetic part of the conversation. It will always be a thing, but everything else overweighs it. And when you're in person, it becomes a non-thing. It actually becomes better to me.
It's a weird twist.
The viewing experience is like every road and hole allows you to view the property.
It's a weird twist that I'm making, because I even agree. So sure, I'd love to go down there and see it. I fundamentally agree, because the weird pull that I have is, at the same time, like, I love this course and I love how every hole has a unique story to it, etc. So like I'm embracing the whole thing. I'm just like, stick it out, and then I'm just like, but it's too bad it can't.
Yeah, I feel the sentiment.
Too bad they can't bring like $10 million and make it look like the most incredible thing ever, and nothing else happens.
They did put a lot of money into it. There is a lot of money that goes into this. That's a whole nother story for another time.
Anyway, I love it. I love USDGC. I love it.
I have a response on the baskets.
Okay. They
what
changed.
Do you think?
They changed the gauge of the chain link. No, I have no idea.
So based off of the reaction that you're seeing in disc, you would say, oh, they've got to change so much. Nope. They hung, let me get it right, 7 new chains, which you say that's massive, but literally like right up to
around
the
the pole. Yeah.
So if you're hitting the chains, you're probably going to hit the pole. You have to believe, and maybe I'm wrong, you have to believe the chains are going to deaden that as opposed to increase the bounce back. But I still think it's a massive overreaction. I don't see cut throughs being affected by it. Nothing. Maybe the way it looks a little visually, like, hey, I see new chains around the pole. Anyways, yeah, I keep my stance.
I agree it's an overreaction, but it's still intriguing to me, Matt. I don't know if I'm as clear of adding 7 chains is like definitely going to like absorb it. Like I actually think that could change quite a bit of how a disc reacts. But I'm not saying that.
I've seen so many pole hits where it's like hard, bang. You got like the chains are going to spread and move. Like, I don't know. They obviously did testing. Do you think they just got these 7 chains and were like, this is going to work? Like they obviously did loads of testing. Yeah, loads of it. So there's no way that they're like.
The other thing,
Matt, what's funny is like, I generally agree with you, by the way. So I'm being sarcastic here, but sometimes the sport of disc golf surprises me.
That being said, no, look at, okay, but isn't DD's new basket, or not new, but they, or MVP, they introduced this, hey, buy this aftermarket, put all the chains around your pole. Yeah, that's the advertising. Yeah. Everybody's going to this. So like they've all done the testing.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah. I think people are
you can do as much testing as you want, right? Let's say us 3, decide to build a basket. We can test it. I'll put at it. Matt, you put at it. Josh, you put at it.
I put different than you.
We'd have Ben put at it, but he'd miss the basket. So,
And then on lead card,
Simon subbed every minute of that.
And then on lead card, Simon putts and it cuts through, right?
So that's exactly what all the different variables that are brought into when it's actually tournament time and going out there. 1, it was very windy this whole weekend. It felt like it was not great weather. 2, you have every single different putting style known to man playing on that course at that point. So Simon's a very heavy spin putter. Nicolas Antela is a little bit slower version, but a spin putter. Then you have Paul's putts, AB's putts, Ricky's putts, Calvin's putts, nose down, nose up, Heiser putts. You have every single thing going at it. So yes, not everything was probably full-blown tested. I think they saw they had a great product. They wanted to showcase it. I think it's a little bit weird doing it right before a major championship.
I did mention that as being a little. Yep, you did. That. Yeah,
I think that's a little bit odd. Who knows? Maybe this has been something in the works for the last 3 years, and they felt like it was the perfect time to do it. I'm not saying they got a truckload of them like you were saying earlier. They didn't get a truckload a week before the event. Just throw them out onto the course, right? They probably did a lot. This has probably been something that's been happening.
They're like,
for a long
there's
time.
No difference except that it catches better. This is probably what they're thinking. Like nothing's changed except.
And maybe
that.
It's aesthetically more pleasing.
Maybe
Who knows?
Yeah.
Like the baskets look cool. So
I liked the name for what it was worth. I think they're kind of trying to set a standard. It was like end of a tour, like the Discatcher tour.
Yeah, I just know it got off to a rocky start since the first round. You had Simon Lizotte, and I remember a whole 2 or 3. I forget. It might have been the first hole of the tournament. He spit right.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it was
cut through.
There's no argument about me saying there weren't bad spit outs or cut throughs. That absolutely is a thing. My take is that it's not worse than anything else, or even worse than these baskets would have done. And there was a lot more wind than anybody was expecting going into that day.
Yes.
So I think we're seeing stuff from the wind. I think there was a lot of factors.
But that's also now it's just funny to me, like, players before Simon teed off probably had cut throughs and spit outs, but because we saw literally the first hole of the feature freaking card, we saw that. And then, but we know, hey, these baskets just got announced. These are brand new baskets. This is my point. And that's why the conversation, that's, why we're spending 20 minutes talking about baskets.
I don't have the time, but I would be interested in going back and building a montage from this event of all these, because there were more.
But you have to factor the wind. It's
not just Simon and Ricky.
Windier than some events are usually.
No, there's a bunch. I'm just poking at Simon because
the Statmando not collect stats on this stuff because we need it. Anyway.
Kearns, we need you.
All right. I'm going to move us along unless you really want to keep debating baskets. Not baskets.
I just had an update and I just found it interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it is interesting. Yeah. Maybe we'll need to do some more undercover work there. All right. I want to get to throw pink, but before that, you ready? This is our interlude. Did you see the long drive competition? Anthony Brella threw 670 feet. That's very far.
Yeah.
And Eliezer Middling threw 499 feet. I'm like, can't you just round up to 500?
Yeah,
she couldn't throw the extra foot. Come on. But that's just like that's
Her throw
incredible.
is explosive.
Yeah, I mean she's won this she won it at Maple Hill in 2024 maybe.
There's a unique
she's
style
one other
to her throw. Now
Yeah.
it's good, it's great, but unique in that you don't see a lot of it. There's a little reminiscent of like Paige when Paige used to be just like explosive.
Oh.
But you'll see Ellie be like, she's getting up there and then her foot just slams down. Like you're almost like you need to pad that foot. You're slamming it explosive. So good to her.
Well, just really quick, we're not going to talk much more about it, but Thomas Gilbert, second place, Austin Turner, Gannon Burr, Silas Schultz, and Lucas Carmichael, your top 6 qualified for the finals. And pretty incredible. I mean, you have a few other players who threw well over 600 feet. Pretty awesome. And in FPO, Ella Hansen, second place. No surprise there. She's always talked about setting the longest drive ever. And then Henna Blomroos, no surprise. Taylor Chosick, and on down the list. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that. I think kind of a side game, but I think one that players, they want to throw far, and throwing far is pretty awesome. So,
I like the comment here from our number 3 commenter tonight, Jay Merlot. It'd be fun to have more long drive competitions live on DGN. They're very entertaining. I agree. If they did this every month,
Maple,
or whatever, like they just did like long drive,
pure long drive.
People would tune in on an evening, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. You sit down at night and you want to watch a live drive. It'd be awesome. I agree.
Yeah, especially put
Great
some
comment.
fun things on the line. And I want to see a pure long drive competition. And then I also am fine with adding some variety, like where you've got drive and accuracy, like kind of Maple Hill does. But even Maple Hill is not purely my favorite. I want to see how far they can throw.
There should be just far. Then there should be AccuDistance, as Steve loves to do.
Yeah,
and then there should
maybe,
be like CTP, like gold at Maple to like the red basket. Like you're trying to like just bullseye it.
Yeah, right. But at Maple Hill, I want to see somebody try to throw it into the actual green.
Yeah.
But they don't get to do that because we put them short. Anyway.
Great.
All right. So look, we are an hour and 19 minutes into our show.
We haven't talked throw pink. Now,
right.
Why have we not?
That's what I was going to say. Is there a reason why? And by the way, I don't think it's actually intentional on our part, but I would say it is.
It's a result.
It is maybe
of the
correlated.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like it's not like we're trying to bury it, but
when you
I
have
struggle.
Such a big event. When you have
struggle.
Such a big event, and I hate to say it this way, but
This is
let's
why I'm
say
mad.
you had
I'm
the
mad
World
about it.
Championship, and then you had an A tier that women were playing at. In your mind, you're going to talk the World Championship, and but here's what's happening. Actually, you're getting things mixed up because in your mind you're like, it is the FPO side of the U.S. Disc Golf Championship. Like that's the throw pink, and
that's
they
the way they're
throw
treating
pink.
it there.
Yes, they do throw pink in these little words on the logo, and then it says U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship. It's like it feels like it looks like it's the other side of it, and so we could just frankly just treat it that way. And to your point, I don't think this was intentional, like that it's coming up.
No,
like
we're not burying it on
interviews,
purpose.
we had all these conversations. But the reality is, people are still like, it's an A tier in the PDGA listing, score app, everything. It's an A tier.
It's like so. Here's where I'm at with it. I agree that the players view it that way. On the grounds, they view it that way. The tournament directors view it that way. We feel that sense, and I heard the gallery on the ground was epic. The coverage is the same, which is why, quite frankly, like I'm pissed off.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it makes me upset, and I don't know enough about Innova's side of the story. I've not done inside reporting or journalism, to be clear, right? So like I don't have inside text messages, nothing. But I know enough about what's happening in our sport. And I think Innova would probably be happy to make it some version of the USWDGC for the pro field. Okay, so not necessarily replace like USWDGC, which has all the women's divisions, but for the FPO to have it be the USDGC for women, whatever you want to call it. I think Innovas probably would do that. This is my speculation. But the PDGA is not letting it happen. And I'm going to say yet, because maybe there's conversation in the works, right? So that's fine, right? Somebody there might be like, oh, we just can't release the press release yet. Great. But from where I sit here now, That is ridiculous. It's so frustrating. And here's the thing. I'm sure it has to do with event ownership, rights, who owns the event, who gets to do what with the event. USDGC is not even a regular major. It's a major X because they do their own thing. Like all of this history intertwined is preventing the PDGA from making this that event. And that frustrates the heck out of me.
So we have the contacts. If I texted Doug Bjerkes, I texted JP, I texted Chad Sullivan, and I texted...
Can you put them on a group chat?
No, I'm saying I should do that, right?
That's what I mean. Put them on a group
hey,
chat.
Guys, introduction
Include
to
me
each
on
other.
that.
I'm in a
You
live
gotta get
podcast.
Phil Delani in it.
Sure. We can put all the right people. We have all
You're
the contacts.
joking.
We actually
You're
have
a
them
little-
all. I even
you're a
had
little
we'll
cl-
put Jeff Spring in there.
Oh, man.
It's like
Matt, so you're a
everybody-
little bit closer friends with some of them. I know a lot of them.
Be
You're
like,
probably
hey,
a little
guys,
closer. So
welcome to
maybe
this
it'd be
group
awkward
chat.
for you.
It'd be
But
funny,
I am
right?
like, I'm getting like, I have the nerve. Like, you ever start feeling nerves? Because I'm actually dead serious, but I want to do that maybe. Like, I'm like
but imagine you had them
legitimately
in a group
tempted to
chat,
do that.
and you just simply said, "Hey guys, what would it take to make it a major?"
Yeah, someone
to
someone
see.
just give me an answer.
Nobody
So here's-
responds.
Who would be
Here's-
mad at me for doing that?
Nobody. But it'd be cool to see who the first person.
Well, it depends on how.
responded
Yeah,
was.
No, who in the
depends on how
chat
you
would be
ask
mad?
it, right? Oh, I don't think anyone in the chat would be mad.
Some people
You don't
might
think
be
somebody would
off-put.
text me on the
Some
side and say,
people
"What are you
might
doing?"
Be off put because you're right. There could be an element, and I'm not going to put this on anybody because like I don't have this feeling in my head. But if we were to dig really deep, there could be a side, if you will, or a group that is kind of like, no, this is our event. That could happen. It could be either the PDGA being like, no, it's our event. Like we don't want to give that to that event, like the title. It could be Innova or this group that's running this event saying, hey, no, we want that event. Like, if you want to make it a major, it's its own major. You know, like there's possible that exists. So to your point, Josh, there could be
Innova
someone who gets
preempted the
angry.
PDGA. The PDGA didn't get it done at this level, so Innova did it.
Yes.
And sorry, PDGA, you lose. You're a player association. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it.
Yes.
Doug, I don't know if you're listening. Someone else, please. Everybody wants it. Just do it.
Why doesn't Throw Pink become the traveling major?
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's lots of ways to do it.
So I'm just saying, like, why doesn't Throw Pink
lots of
become the
ways
traveling
to do
major?
it.
And then that's where all the different female divisions get to play, right? FPO, FP 40, 50, 60, 70, amateur, all that good stuff. And then you have the US Women's DGC at Winthrop. Like, I don't know. Like,
Here's why. And I'm
maybe
speaking
that
out of
sounds
place.
like the most simple answer
I'm
in the
speaking
world.
out
But
of
like,
place.
why not do that?
Okay, Nick. So let's say I started Throw Blue Dudes like championship. Okay. I started it. I made it. It's very successful. And everyone's saying, just make that the US Women's Disc Golf Championship, right? And I go, wait a second. Is that still my title? Is that still my event? And they go, no, it's now going to be a major and it's a PDGA major with the title US Women's. That's why it could be that it's not so easy. Because that person's like, hey, or these people are like, I have to give up my event. You say, well, just let it go on the tour, go on the road. They're like, no. They're like, that's my event. I want it.
Well, so, okay, then at that point.
It could.
I
So
mean,
just call it a major.
Okay, just call it
Yes.
Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf
Sure.
Championships as the major, right? And then
that would be the easier
take
way, I
out
think.
take out U.S. Women's DGC as a major. You
Yes.
can make the United States Women's
Yes.
Disc Golf Championships do it like they do every single year. Take that out as a major, though.
For FPO, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We figued it out. And
No,
there-
no,
people
here's the
say
thing.
There's a
Guess
bunch
what?
of men talking
No, no.
about what the women should do. But the
Oh, I know,
reality
right?
is-
Yeah. I always
No,
have a funny
but here's
joke
what
with
we
Brittany
should do.
Dickerson about mansplaining, and I feel like I'm mansplaining right now.
I don't feel like that at all. I feel like it's
You're
ridiculous.
like,
I
should
gotta
be
text.
the
I gotta
easiest
text
thing you
Chris.
said.
I need this section clipped so I can text this to Chris Dickerson and be like, please don't show your wife, but please do.
Goes, it'd be
No,
the
No,
easiest-
it's
so how-
funny.
but how do the
I'll
women-
text
how do the
I'll text
women-
Hannah. Yeah.
How do the women feel about having a second tier tournament alongside USDGC?
well, they want it to be a major too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the answer, but they would like it to be a major.
Now here's the point. I'm not pretending I know exactly all the logistics. Swap Throw Pink, do US Women's, but my point is there's lots of legitimate options on the table, and this is all about event ownership. Event ownership and revenue and control. On both sides.
Yeah.
And so I'm
And at
like,
that point,
you just
I
got to
mean,
do what's best for everybody.
this
Like,
would
I don't
be-
like
You know what? 10 years ago, there wasn't even an FPO division at this event, right? Like FPO players were playing in the United States Disc Golf Championships because there was no FPO division.
I think they still
So-
can.
They still can, yeah, 100%. Well, I think they have to qualify for it.
Yes, they
right?
have to
Yeah.
qualify, right. But yes.
So, and then that's where I don't know. And then they added in throw pink, and it was awesome. It was great because all the touring play. One of the biggest things about disc golf is there are so many touring players that, travel together, whether relationship or not. There's so many people that just legitimately just travel together. And so when it comes to the easiness aspect of it, yeah, it's great. Have a tournament at the same time as USDGC. But it's grown so much, and especially the tournament staff has done so much, and not just for USDGC, but for Throw Pink as well. It's not like they're take out the major title with it, right? They're doing so much work for both divisions and all this, both tournaments and all this. It's, not just specifically for the USDGC. There's so many different things, reasons to go out to watch the FPO card, reasons in between to watch, between FPO and MPO, all the things that they do on the side before and after the tournament, all the concerts and everything. Like, they do so much for the event in and of itself that at this point, like, it kind of sucks that it's a second tier tournament, alongside the USDGC. I know all the competitors do treat it. It's one of the biggest fields that you have out there when it comes to the actual toughest field. And so
the other side of this is, and I don't know if I'm accurate with this, so I'm just saying what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's trademarked, but they trademarked USDGC. I say trademark unofficially, who knows? The championship. You always see that, right? That's other branding, the championship. And it was always one division, one winner. That was their whole thing. That still is. I don't know if they want to make an FPO side to it, because it changes a little bit of that. Now, frankly, I think I could get over it to be like the championship. That's cool. Say it for both. The championship. It's the championship, and there's an FPO and an MPO winner. But there are other things at this, Josh. There's a long history here with all of this.
Yeah,
stuff.
All right, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. Ready? The Masters, one champion, one division. It's the men are there. Why do we need the second major? And I'm just playing devil's advocate because I wish that it was a major, but like, why do we need to coincide the events?
Well, we don't need to,
I
but
hear you.
the people and the players have spoken, and the event's happening, and everybody's like, well, it should be a major. Like, if they weren't running Throw Pink alongside the event, we probably wouldn't feel this way. I certainly wouldn't have the same emotions. It's the fact they've been doing this for like 4 years in a row, and now everybody's like, it should happen. That's why, Nick, because it's gotten to this point. Like, it doesn't inherently have to happen.
It starts
but
to
now
look
it
a
is.
little bad, because it starts to undermine that event. As much as they're making it amazing, it's the contrast of the titles. This is a major, that isn't. They're running it like a major, and you could say, well, just look at that part of it. They're running it so good, which is true. We all are talking about it that way.
Has Innova asked the PDGA to figure out how this could be a major?
I don't know.
Possibly as a replacement or a tweak on U.S. women's for pro. Has that conversation happened between
they
Innova
have
and the
that
PDGA?
answer. There's no doubt they don't have that
I agree.
answer. Yeah,
I agree.
They have that
so that's
answer.
my point, is Innova has talked to them that they would like that to happen.
But there might be things
Which
that
means the
can't
PDGA is
find
saying
an
no.
agreement on.
We keep saying
right.
We keep saying Innova though, but it's not an Innova event anymore.
I guess it's
Technically,
what, US disc golf?
Disc golf. It's like US disc golf.
Because like before, before it was strictly Innova, right? Now you have like Discraft and Ledgestone do massive sponsorships with the USDGC.
So like, right. So it's not necessarily Innova, but I guess my point is it's the fact that it's owned by a private entity that's not the PDGA.
Yeah.
And who are employed by Innova.
I mean, yeah, right. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, look, I'm being fairly assertive because it's how I feel about it. Matt, to your point, look, I probably have some pretty decent, I don't have inside knowledge, but inside experience to understand how these conversations are probably transpiring, which is why I'm also probably so emotionally like wound to be like I just can't imagine like, it's like, is the PDGA sitting there and being like, we really feel like we need to own all the majors. I'm sure that's their opinion. And then I'm like, no, you don't. You don't have to. Like, you don't have to. Like, that's it. Like, right? You can make this a major, and then later, if you don't like the event, you can make it not a major.
Yeah. Pete Collins in the chat loves what you're saying. Keep going, Josh. Bring the heat.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
taken
look,
us a while to get here.
literally, I like the PDGA. We're friends with some of them. I like Innova, all of that. So this is why, Matt, I probably perked up so much when you had the idea of like getting them in a group chat, because I actually want to do it.
Yeah.
And obviously that's sarcasm, because I understand they would have more professional, real conversations. They've already talked about it, which is my point.
Right.
By the way, Matt, maybe you were bringing us here.
Yeah, this is where I'm bringing you.
Sorry. Sorry, Missy.
Sorry. We didn't even
Well,
bring
I mean,
her on.
we're an hour and a half,
Missy,
and it's
do
like,
you want to come on for the A-tier win?
Look, so
It's horrible.
maybe, I don't know what percentage of people make it this far in our show. But I'm actually serious, and this is why I'm probably so upset. Literally, sorry, Missy. You go out and win a big event, and we debate whether the event matters as much as the event it ran alongside.
To be fair,
which is
Josh,
ridiculous.
You might bring this up later, but the last 4 holes were a little rough to watch. But that's
okay. Well, that's a totally different conversation, and I'm about to bring that up. So first of all,
I'll say this about it really quick. And
yes.
The reason I'm saying it is because we had Missy on recently, and she talks about when she's won this event in the past. The fortunate thing about her sponsorship with Discraft is, guess what? Hey, Discraft does treat it as a major in their eyes for their players, and so I'll give hats off to Discraft every single day of the week. I love those people. I love that company. They really are like a family. And then also, Big Money Missy cashed out $15,000. I can only imagine that was probably anywhere from a $25,000 to $35,000 weekend for Missy, playing that A tier. And I know we don't give it major status because we technically can't give it major status, but the people that matter for her gave it major status. And that's, one of the big things about it. So I will say hats off to Missy, just in general. I would never take anything away with it. She played in one of the best fields out there. And yeah, the last 4 holes were a little bit tough. 18 over par. I know we're about to talk about that. 18 over par collectively between the group in the last 4 holes. But at the same time,
yeah. So
she got the win.
So I'm not walking through full round by round, but congrats to players like Hannah Wynn, who showed up and played great. And I feel like she's had a great
season.
Great. Yeah. We've talked about Hannah so many times.
So really cool to see.
Great season.
Yeah, I mean, Cadence Burge, even Paige Pierce showing up on the lead card. So a lot of really great play by some players, but for the most part, we have Annalie Tugish-Maniste. Maybe I said that right, but she
It's like Anale Tugas Monastai. Yeah, something
that
like
counts. Yep. So, right, but she shows up just one back of Missy in round 1, and then she's in lead after round 2. She's in lead after round 3. So really great performance by her. We saw Missy, again, have a really terrible second round, but she's done that and hangs in there. And then we have Silva. And of course, underlying this is the question we talked about last week, is the player of the year, and how much does this event play into that, which is an interesting discussion, but it's still a thing. And so you've got Missy and Silva, and then Annalie hanging out there, right? And then we come into the final round, and really it's a close competition. You've got Silva and Missy who end up kind of gently separating themselves, right? And it's close. And so, you're gearing up. If you're following live, you're watching the scores, you're like, all right, it's going to come down. It's close. It's Missy here and Silva, both in the running for player of the year. And then we get to, I'm going to say the last 4 holes, really hole 16 is where things really started showing up, or really drastically. But I felt none of them wanted to win it. Now, by the way, this is how competition works. So I get it. In other words, you just have to come out ahead of the competition. Right? Sometimes these bogeys are scattered throughout the 4 rounds, and the last few holes is where you pile up your birdies. But to me, it does matter when it happens. And when you're watching an event that's close, and then all of a sudden we see for Silva, bogey, triple bogey, double bogey, bogey. Missy's got a double bogey in there on 17. Paige Pierce, who's on coverage, has a triple bogey, a bogey, a bogey, and a double bogey. It was just it was unfortunate. That's not a knock on the players. My point is again, if you had swapped all their birdies around and put them at the end, they're going to get the same score. But boy, what a disappointing finish. However, still congrats to Missy. That's the way she's played this year. And talk about really she had an incredible year. To me, there's no question she's player of the year at this point. And really bummer for Silva. I think she's not an overly expressive, emotional player, but I think you could see the emotions. It's pretty defeating. There may have been a questionable shot in there on 16, right? Like, do you run that putt with the hazard behind it? But, that's kind of second guessing. Anyway, congrats to Missy. All of our conversation aside, it is a big event. How we classify it is the question, but it is a big event. Hard played, mostly on the same course as the men, obviously with the adjustments as needed. And yeah, it was an exciting event, just a weird way to finish. Limping across the finish line. But I guess it was still the finish line, right? So, get there somehow.
Yeah. Quick react one more time. I'm going to talk about this like it's a major, and I've already determined that, like, going forward. Like, we don't have to have these conversations about it. Even bringing it up to the player in an interview, like, hey, what do you think? Should it be a major? Like, we've done that for years now. I kind of feel like we can just sway that and just be like, forget it. Like, we don't have to call it a major, but we can talk about it like it's just as big. So, yes, congrats to Missy going into that final round with Anale, with Missy, with Silva. I had my sons and myself kind of make picks who we think would win. And I kind of had some reservation. I said, if it's raining, I feel one way. If it's not raining, I feel a different way. And ended up not raining, and Missy won it. And I thought if it was raining, it had to be Missy would win if it was raining. I thought she'd play better in the rain for some reason, but it didn't end up raining, which was another surprise. Congrats to Missy. You said player of the year, last year player of the year. Does this seem a little bit crazy to you that you can have this player of the year during the dominance of Kristen? Like, now granted, Kristen dropped out at this point, but even to this point in the season, let's just say she played this event and Kristen won. Let me just look real quick. If Kristen had won this and not Missy, you would still be having somewhat of a conversation about who would win it. So, like, the point is, it's like impressive. Josh, for years, we've mentioned Missy as like that sneaky player who comes in and wins.
Yeah,
these
she's
events.
really good. Yeah.
I still think that's related to the lack of explosiveness. I think that's what it is. We're not seeing flashy anything except great putting. And so that's where I would take this right. We used to talk about FPO. I had other FPO players talking to me and saying, if you can learn to putt, you can stand out in FPO. Who are our best players? Own, great, fantastic putter. She said the other day on some skins match, like, I can't throw more than like 320 feet. And I'm like, well, dang, maybe I should play better. Owen's killing it. Like, if it's just 320 feet, you just got to hit putts all day. Missy, she's known really strongly for her great putting. Obviously other players are doing well too, but you think of like Evelina and a few others, they're largely there because of their throwing, right? Mm-hmm. But when they are not putting well, they fall off.
They don't win because of their putting.
So if you're an FPO player, I remember we had Jennifer Smiley on, and she's like, it looks like, scrambling's a big deal. Of course it is. But frankly, I'd be frankly interested to look at everybody's putting stats and just be like, which mattered more? I don't know. I think putting is get really good at putting, everybody. Mm-hmm. And you'll play well. So my point with all this is, good job, Missy. You essentially did that the best.
Yeah, like, why is I don't even know how I would attempt to answer this, but I was thinking, is like, could Missy be the next Kristen? And when I say that, I don't mean just wins, but kind of like the aura. Like, why? Like, in other words, why can't you be like the face of the FPO sport if Kristen's not?
And you know what's interesting? And people already know the fun of the show and Matt's the feeling of Matt towards Kristen. That was kind of always a made up thing. I just bring my takes. But Missy could actually do that. I think out of everybody, I think she could do that. And to the point about not being flashy, I never felt super flashy about Kristen either. Like, I always felt like it was like, how is Kristen so well rounded and great at everything, but nothing looks amazing? Just consistent. and Missy's a really consistent player.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And just because we're talking about player of the year race, Holland Hanley only beat the cut by 2 strokes. Yikes. Now the cut is really only like, the cut's only like 23 players deep. So like maybe I'm making it sound worse than it is, but like she's had a rough second half of the season. Still one of the top players in the sport in the standings, and she's got the championship to bring it home. So like
she made a strong push in the final round. Yeah. In fact, I thought maybe I'd get a few points from her. I picked her to lock
in your picks,
and I was like, oh, she might get me a few. Speaking of picks,
I was just going to say, what are we going to do? Talk about our results?
Yeah, we have to crown the winner too. So
yeah, the whole season long winner coming up.
Hooligan Disc presents Pop Drop Lock this whole season. Thank you so much for their efforts to support us in this segment, as we are happy to have them be the presenting sponsor, as well as you all. Any given week, if you win, you get shipped a prize from Hooligan, who's on the road now, full-time. I don't know if they're on the road full-time, but they're full-time in disc golf, which is a testament to the growing of their business. So thank you to Hooligan. I think we should just kind of, let's go through and then we'll give it away. We'll do a little drum roll here. I do not remember the order of this, so I apologize, but we're just going to go from top to bottom.
Throw pink or...
Oh, no, we won't go top. No, both together. Both together. Okay. So we will go Josh at the bottom, 6 points this week. Total. Across.
Oh, so you added them up.
Oh, that's no fun. I have a reason why it's no fun for me.
Nick, you can tell us. Yeah, I know you'll tell us why. Yeah, but yeah, that makes sense, Matt. So
I just feel like it's way easier because we're tracking it. Okay. Yeah. Ben, 59 points. That sounds pretty good to me because look at me. This is the lowest points all season. 3 points total for USDGC and Throw Pink. So just 3 total. And I will just say this because I've been doing well all year. I am still proud to say, I'd have to go back, I guess, double check, but I never had any negative weeks, like minus points. But this was the toughest by far. 3 points for me. And Nick, 85 points. That's great at this point in the season. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, too, because I won for USDGC. And
overall. First place overall.
Yeah, like first place overall.
USDGC,
the guy who tied... Yeah, the guy who tied me picked the same exact things. So we tied for the win, 99 points for USDGC.
I mean, that's crazy. You picked Kramer and Freeman.
Yeah. The only way I could have done realistically better in my head is if I picked AB to win. I would have gotten an extra 15 points. But
that's right, you picked the second place finisher. So
exactly. But it was great too because I got negative 14 points in throws. So between our show, right? I have 6 people favorited. I have our show cast, Kearns. No, I have 7 people. I have our show cast, Kearns, and then Matt's 2 boys, Hunter and Tanner, because they always beat me. So I have them favorited. And it's funny because I won between us this week in USDGC, but I also lost this week between Throw Pink.
So the way this is going to work is we're going to send out prizes to the winner of USDGC and Throw Pink. Yeah. We combine this. It's possible next year we figure out a different way to do it, but we separated them out because the way the software is set up. But this was 10. Like we do all year, FPO, MPO get combined together, but we will do prizes separately here. But yeah, Nick, you tied for the lead. Incredible. On the last
Send
one.
me a yeet.
On the last.
I can end on a high note. I'm actually pretty stoked. It's funny too. You can watch back the first 10 minutes of the show when I went out to popdroplock.com and you can see my eye light up because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I actually won. Pretty cool. At least I got 1 week right of picks. And
this was my worst week, Nick.
Yeah.
Wow, you flip-flopped. So all right, moving over into the season long. There's a few things that we'll recap in future weeks, but I have a feeling Ben owes me some money. Hannah Blomroos did not win. Maybe we can keep this going. Ben, don't
maybe that's why he's not on the show tonight.
I can't come. No. Well, technically, I guess if she somehow pulls off the championship, right? So all his money's in on that. We still have that event coming up. But before we leave this segment, our season-long standings, just for, let's say, the show. I want to double-check here. Okay. Drum roll for the bottom of the pack, Nick.
Hey.
108th place, 108.
Well.
We move up. Josh, 41st. Evan, who's just a fan of the show nowadays, but good job to him, 25th, top 25. Ben says he doesn't even care anymore. 12th place. I take down the show this year. That's always been a moment of pride. Ben got it last year, and that burned me. Good job last year, Ben. I got it this year. 2nd place overall. Thank you very much. But the big moment we've been advertising all year is the winner of the season long Pop Drop Lock gets a round, or at least the opportunity for a round with Simon Lizotte at Maple Hill. So, without further ado, we announce Courageous Hare 6437 as your winner of this season's Pop Drop Lock. That's right. And
Nice job.
I don't think he would mind if we shout out his actual name too. You may recognize it. We've talked about it before. Zudzma.
We've talked with him before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. When I say about, or you've heard it. Josiah. So we had already reached out this last week. We're not in cahoots, everybody, but we said, it looks like you're probably going to take it down. The math isn't really showing. It could be a different way. He goes, things could change. So he wasn't counting it. But after this week's results, things did not change. And he won by, looks like somewhere around 140 points over me. I'm just doing quick math looking at it, probably less or more. So shout out to him. I would like to know his theory of how he picks, because I thought I did pretty good, and I did.
Yeah, I want to know if he's
better
just
than me
dropping
on
it into some algorithm and just spitting
Yes.
out this is the best
Possible.
picks,
It's possible.
which is legit. So anyway, yeah.
So
142
we're going to
points,
try to
but
line that up. There's a few moving parts here to navigate. Obviously, his availability. We have to get this in before Thanksgiving because Maple Hill shuts down. Simon's availability. We're going to make it happen. Awesome prize that we're happy to give away. Josiah, thank you for playing. And your big prize hopefully will be a fun one for you. And our other winners of this last week, stay tuned. You'll get an email once we send it out, and we'll ask for your address and ship you out a prize from Hooligan.
I assume Nick doesn't qualify to get that.
Well, he said
I don't know.
send me a heat.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cool.
Well, anyway,
Like
I don't think he won overall between both, right?
No,
We have to figure that out.
No,
Yeah,
but
the-
that's
the
not
other
what-
guy can
we're-
happily
yeah,
have
the other
it.
guy can have it.
Yeah.
Ben can get you
Awesome.
a lot of Hooligan stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
I'm not too worried. We talk about Schleiblock having about 35,000 discs just online. That would take this and multiply this rack by about 50 times. And I'm angled now in my office a little bit, but between the whole thing, there's it's about 800. And I think I have a few hundred more coming soon.
800 times a quick sale at $10 a piece, dude. There's your 8,000.
If anyone wanted to buy my collection at $10 a piece, I'd say yes right
$8
now on the
grand,
spot.
baby.
And I
Bam.
have some very, very cool discs up here. Like, hold on.
Is this a whatnot stream?
Dude, I thought about it.
You're like, and for the price of
Yeah.
you start selling them on
I
the
have
show.
I have the only Team Discraft stamped Proto Lunas out in the world. Oh my gosh.
Team Discraft stamped Lunas. They look beautiful.
These are the Proto Lunas. I think
He'll throw
I gave
those in.
Jordan Lynn's two of them, or one of them, two of them. I forget exactly. She likes blue, so I gave her some blue ones. But other than that, when I got onto the team, it was a birthday / congratulations present from Mr. Macbeth himself. These were all the OG ones that he got when he first created the Luna. And he gave them all to me. So these ones are my tournament putters, the Team Discraft ones. These ones are actually brand new. I can't wait to put these in the bag. But I've got about 25 of those, and then I've got really a pretty awesome collection, actually. It's not a super collector's. Like, I'm not sitting on a bunch of 4x. I have some 4x forces. I gotta think where my forces are.
This is a whatnot stream, except people can't act. Well, they can do super chat. So to the greatest super chat tonight, Nick will say no.
No, maybe not. I don't. Maybe I give them all to Paul.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think I did.
what did we miss, if anything, Josh? We're getting close here. I'd like to wrap it up.
No, I think we're pretty much done. Obviously, the championship's coming up, and we're having conversations about heading into the off season and what our plans are heading into next year. So yeah, like it's crazy. The year's flown by. So we're not diving into the championship. It's obviously a unique format, but I think it's exciting for the players. A lot of money on the line. So yeah,
and it's fun. And it's fun for us to watch. I think it feels, to me, I will speak for myself, a little bit of exhibitionism, like where it's like they are going to show off, but they're also in it. It's a big prize payout, but it's like the feeling of strokes coming in, that advantage system makes it have a little bit different of a straight head-to-head tournament competition. It gives it more of a different vibe. People have already won money just getting to participate. So it's like, it's exciting in a different way. I feel the vibes of like, this is, to them, it might be just as stressful, but like, it's going to feel less stressful in my mind watching USDGC as a major. I don't know.
Yeah, it's different. It's different who you are. If you're like that kind of second tier player, you think, even though I have a stroke disadvantage, if I could pop off here, you make a name for yourself, right? So like you've got something to win. If you're a top player, for the most part, you don't have anything to like lose. Like obviously if Gannon loses, that's kind of a big story, but it really doesn't change the year he had. But if like someone has like a 6-stroke disadvantage comes out and like plays to the lead card and duels it out with Gannon and Paul, like that's a pretty cool story. So I just think it depends who you are. And yeah, we'll obviously be watching.
And then someone in the chat, Ed, just said, like, do we not care about the match play? And the answer is that's going to be fun to watch as well. I think it's just going to be extra.
I care about it. I care about it, but it's in a different class and it feels like an off-season event, even though for the players, they'll obviously have to.
Do we even know who's going to be in that final?
Yeah, it's all been communicated. It's all been announced, and I'm not going to pretend that I have it on the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. But yes, Matt, it's all out there.
I was just popping in the chat really quick.
Gannon Burr, Anthony Barella. And
while you guys are looking that up,
Matteo,
I think it was
Ezra, Niklas, Ezra Robinson, Isaac Robinson, Calvin Heimberg, and then FPO, Ella Hansen, Holland Hanley, Owen and Katrina, Missy Gannon, Paige Pierce. Looks like, because Kristen's out, Kona and Silva. So
cool.
Like, yeah, I mean, that's going to be fun to watch in November for sure. No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. But that, again, a little bit of it, like exhibition feel to it. So,
I mean, I feel like it'd be the same as like if there were some long drive competitions. Like it's just something to watch on DGN, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
So,
I like it.
Going back really quick to talk about USDGC and Throw Pink, Ed had posted in the chat, and I'm not going to quote it because I don't have it off the top of my head, but if it was raining super bad, would they have prioritized the major over the A tier? And I think that's a pretty wild. Yeah.
But that's why the whole thing's frustrating, because the answer is Innova probably would not, because they're treating the events as both important events. But it begs the question of like, why wouldn't you? You would always prioritize a major over an A tier. But that's the conundrum you put yourself into.
That's a phenomenal question. That's one that you should post into the group chat that you're starting between all those guys.
Yeah.
So, anyways, no, I just thought it was a great question.
Yeah.
I have no answer.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see it going
thought provoking in the
ways.
same way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to our wonderful episode of Staggered Stance this evening. As always, appreciate you guys checking us out on Mondays and then post-podcast platforms, all that stuff. We really appreciate everyone. Thank you to Titan Disc Golf and Hooligan Discs for being awesome show sponsors and kind of fun game sponsors throughout the whole year. We appreciate you guys, and we're looking forward to an awesome 2026 season with some new Vamp styles that Staggered Stance will be bringing. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Tell someone you love them this week. We'll catch you guys all in the next one.
Is it fair to say the regular season is over and there's all like it's not the Super Bowl, but it's like we're there. We've got one more big one.
We're at Super Bowl Sunday.
We're excited. Ben, we missed you tonight. I think it's hanging out with his family, which is pretty cool. All right. That's it. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll catch you next week. But until then, we'll catch you out there. Peace out, everybody.